In DreamWorks animated movie The Boss Baby, 30 Rock star Alec Baldwin lends his voice to a business suit-wearing, briefcase-carrying baby, whose arrival at his family's home causes all sorts of chaos. Yippee-ki-yay movie lovers, it's Jan here, and in my last video I revealed some fun facts you probably didn't know about The Boss Baby. But now in this video I want to let you in on some cool Easter eggs, hidden details and movie references in the film. Before I get started, I'm giving away a second copy of this amazing hardback book from Titan called The Art of the Boss Baby, which contains loads of concept art, storyboards and info about the movie. All you need to do for a chance to win is subscribe and leave a comment on this video about the Boss Baby movie or your favourite Easter egg from the film. And for bonus ways to enter, check out the Gleam link in the video description below. Okay, quick warning, there are spoilers ahead, so if you've not seen the movie yet, why not come back here after you've seen the film? When Tim and Boss Baby's parents have to go on a work trip to Vegas, they leave their children at home with their new babysitter, Eugenia, who's actually really Francis's brother Eugene dressed up in women's clothes. This part of the film heavily references Disney's 1964 classic movie Mary Poppins. Just look at Eugenia's clothing, including her little hat and flower, the way Francis calls her practically perfect in every way, the way Boss Baby refers to her as Scary Poppins, and also the way she flies through the air using her umbrella. As Eugenia, aka Eugene, chases them down the street, Boss Baby tells Tim he must cycle faster if they're going to escape, at which point the movie takes us inside Tim's mind, where he imagines himself and Boss Baby sailing on a stormy sea as they're pursued by an enormous whale with the face of Eugenia. This scene tips its hat to the 1956 film Moby Dick, and the classic novel on which it was based. Also during that chase scene through the streets, Tim imagines himself and Boss Baby on a motorcycle jumping through a ring of fire over a moving train, which is a little tribute to the many airborne stunts of the legendary Daredevil performer Evel Knievel. If you were thinking that Tim's talking alarm clock, Wizzy the Wizard, sounds rather familiar, that's because actor James McGrath, who voices him, is particularly skilled at celebrity impressions, and based Wizzy's voice on actor Ian McKellen, who famously played Gandalf in Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies. And the line, "Wake up little halflings," that Wizzy says every morning is also a nod to the novels of J.R.R. Tolkien, in which halflings is another name for hobbits. Director Steven Spielberg's iconic action-adventure movies, including the Indiana Jones films, were an inspiration for the Boss Baby filmmakers, particularly when it came to creating and editing the fantasy sequences dreamt up in the movie by Tim. So when Tim is running through a jungle, flying a spaceship or fighting a gorilla, the movie's editor channeled the editing style used in Spielberg's classic movies. But whip-cracking archaeologist Indiana Jones wasn't the only character that inspired Tim's wild flights of imagination. The filmmakers also took cues from the Looney Tunes cartoon character Ralph Phillips, who, like Tim, was a young boy with a vivid imagination and a tendency to daydream. Likewise, the movie's graphic stylized look is also an homage to Warner Bros. Looney Tunes cartoons. And several Disney films from the golden age of animation influenced the movie too. For example, the fantasy scene where Tim saves his parents from inside a shark by using hot sauce is a riff on Disney's 1940 animated film Pinocchio, where Pinocchio starts a fire to escape from the huge whale Monstro that swallowed him and his father Geppetto. Another of director Steven Spielberg's movies also left its mark on the neighborhood where Tim's family lives. According to the Boss Baby director Tom McGrath, they set the movie in small-town suburbia in a past that combines the 1970s and 80s, and for the appealing look of Tim's neighborhood, they took cues from the much-loved early 80s movie E.T. You probably noticed that the magnetic letters on the fridge changed from Tim's name to Baby, and that Tim's photo gets covered over with baby pictures once Boss Baby arrives. But what you might not have spotted is that before Boss Baby arrives, Tim is wearing a t-shirt with the number 1 on it. However, just after Tim spots Boss Baby arriving in a taxi, Tim doesn't change his clothes, but the number on his t-shirt does change from 1 to 2, as he rushes down the stairs to find out what's going on, which of course signals that he no longer feels like number 1 priority in the family. During a big action scene where Tim chases Boss Baby and his toddler team around the garden as Boss Baby drives a toy cop car, there's a musical hat tip to the theme tune of the 1970s TV series SWAT, which followed the escapades of a Special Weapons and Tactics team. And the movie's action scenes also make use of sound effects from the popular 1970s sci-fi action series A $6 Million Man, which starred actor Lee Majors as a special agent with bionic implants that gave him superhuman abilities. And of course, because the character of Boss Baby is brought to life by actor Alec Baldwin, the movie includes homages to roles he's played on the big and small screen. For instance, during one of Boss Baby's meetings with his special mission team of Stacy, the triplets, and Jimbo, there's a lovely nod to another demanding businessman Baldwin played in the 1992 movie Glengarry Glen Ross. In that film, his character uttered the now famous lines, "Put that coffee down, coffee's for closers." And in this movie that becomes, "Put that cookie down, cookies are for closers," which Boss Baby says to Jimbo when he's telling him off for eating cookies before they've succeeded in their mission. The character of Boss Baby also clearly plays on Alec Baldwin's award-winning turn as executive Jack Donaghy in the critically acclaimed TV comedy 30 Rock, to the point that the movie's business-savvy baby is pretty much a mini Jack Donaghy in diapers, barking orders, spouting management advice, and talking about corporate retreats. And just like 30 Rock's Jack Donaghy, who idolises his boss Don Geiss, wanting to follow in his footsteps and be promoted to the top job when Geiss retires, so too Boss Baby admires his manager and is striving for a promotion and a corner office of his own. Now, what are your favourite Easter eggs, hidden details and references in the movie? And did you spot any others I missed? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe and comment for your chance to win a second copy of this fantastic The Art of the Boss Baby hardback book. If you liked this video, do also check out my Boss Baby Secrets video about the making of the movie and also my animation playlist here. And as always, I appreciate your likes, shares and comments on my videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time, yippee-ki-yay movie lovers!